Picture this, a clandestine alliance between a sanctioned Russian arms giant and Chinese drone innovators, potentially tipping the scales in a brutal war. It's a story that raises eyebrows and sparks heated debates about global geopolitics and the ethics of technology in conflict. But here's where it gets controversial. Is this just innocent collaboration, or a backdoor way to arm aggressors? Stick around as we unpack the details, revealing insights that most headlines miss. In an exclusive revelation, Chinese drone specialists have traveled to Russia multiple times to collaborate on advanced military drones at a state-run weapons factory that's been hit with Western sanctions. According to two European security experts and confidential documents reviewed by Reuters, these visits began in the second quarter of last year and have occurred more than half a dozen times. During this period, the Russian company, known as Kupol, received deliveries of Chinese-built attack and surveillance drones through a sanctioned Russian intermediary. This development comes amid China's firm stance that it never supplies lethal weaponry to any side in conflicts and maintains strict controls on dual-use items like drones. Dated September 25th, Reuters has uncovered that these Chinese experts have been actively involved in technical enhancements and testing of military drones right within Russia's borders. Building on a previous Reuters report from September last year, which detailed Kupol's creation of the Garpia 3 drone with Chinese assistance. This latest scoop provides the first in-depth look at the extensive role of Chinese specialists in hands-on work and evaluations of combat-ready drones inside Russia. The experts, who wish to remain anonymous along with their organizations due to the sensitive nature of the intel, believe this partnership signals a growing bond between Kupol and Chinese firms in drone innovation, a technology that's become indispensable in Russia's ongoing conflict in Ukraine. For those new to this, think of drones like the Garpia series as high-tech weapons modeled after Iran's Shahed drones. These one-way attack drones, often called kamikaze devices, are programmed to fly long distances, sometimes hundreds of miles, to a target, then crash and explode upon impact. Ukraine reports that around 500 such drones are deployed monthly against them, highlighting their devastating role in modern warfare. And this is the part most people miss. These aren't just toys, they're game changers that can turn the tide of battles without risking human lives on the front lines. China's foreign ministry, when contacted, stated they were unaware of any such cooperation. China consistently adopts an impartial and just stance regarding the Ukraine situation, refraining from delivering deadly arms to any involved parties and enforcing rigorous oversight on dual-use exports, such as drones, the ministry declared. Meanwhile, the Kremlin, Russia's defense ministry, and IEMZ Kupol have not issued responses to inquiries. The documents, which include business receipts and financial records, indicate that Kupol acquired over a dozen single-use attack drones from Sichuan AEE, a prominent Chinese drone manufacturer, last year. These were funneled through TSK Vector, a Russian defense procurement firm sanctioned by the US and EU. Neither TSK Vector nor Sichuan AEE replied to requests for comment. Western governments have voiced repeated worries about Chinese firms aiding Russian arms producers, leading to sanctions against several. In July, Reuters exposed how Kupol was churning out thousands of Garpia drones, incorporating Chinese components, like engines. The two European officials suggest that the small-scale deliveries of Chinese attack drones and the presence of experts might point to Kupol's ambitions to broaden its lineup with fresh drone designs. Reuters couldn't independently verify the motives behind the shipments or the precise activities of the Chinese team. Samuel Bendet, a senior fellow at the Center for a New American Security in Washington, emphasized China's critical position in Russia's military ecosystem. Chinese parts play an enormous part in Russian military gear, particularly in aerial drones, he noted, underscoring the profound influence of this collaboration. Diving deeper into the drone deliveries, a communication from TSK Vector to Kupol, examined by Reuters, billed the arms maker for over half a dozen drones from AEE in the second quarter of 2024. To protect sources, specific details like dates from this letter and other papers were not disclosed. An AEE internal record of shipments to TSK Vector confirmed the arrival of A140 and A900 one-way attack models, plus listings for additional units like the A60, A100, and A200 slated for delivery. Kupol's internal reports also reviewed outline flight trials of the A60, A100, and A200 at Russia's Chebarkul military testing ground in the Chelyabinsk region during the final quarter of 2024. A team of Chinese specialists journeyed to Kupol's base in Izhevsk to put these drones together and instruct local staff on their operation, according to a Kupol file. They then proceeded to Chebarkul for the tests. Flight records from airlines, seen by Reuters, indicate the experts were scheduled to depart from Chelyabinsk the following day. The correspondence and test logs referred to the Chinese team as TSK Vector personnel, but the European officials assess they were actually AEE employees. This conclusion stems from AEE's feedback on the A200 drone trials, which drew on insights from AEE technicians. Following that, AEE invoiced TSK Vector over 5 million yuan, roughly 700,000, for several A200 units equipped with anti-jamming tech and other items in the second quarter of 2025, as per reviewed bills and statements. Adding another layer, Kupol has ties to a second Chinese drone company. A test report, endorsed by Kupol and TSK Vector, evaluated the HW-52V drone from Hunan Haotianyi in the third quarter of last year. The HW-52V is a vertical takeoff and landing VTOL drone, versatile for military tasks like gathering intelligence, monitoring and reconnaissance, or even as a strike weapon, per the officials. Airline tickets obtained by Reuters show Hunan Haotianyi's CEO Liu Mingxing and TSK Vector's drone head Artem Vysotsky departing from Irkutsk Airport in Siberia side by side in June, right after an event showcasing the company's drones. Neither Hunan Haotianyi nor TSK Vector responded to outreach, and Reuters couldn't contact the executives. A separate Kupol file from the third quarter of last year mentions a visit by Chinese nationals, including engineers and technicians, listed as TSK Vector workers. The officials believe these were Hunan Haotianyi employees, based on the fact that some of these visitors had previously traveled with the CEO during his Russian trip. Reuters couldn't confirm their affiliations. The document states the visit aimed to modify a new Chinese flight control system and engine for the Garpia drone. Additional exchanges between Vector and Kupol detail over half a dozen week-long trips by mixed Chinese and Russian teams in 2024 and 2025. A later message about a third quarter 2025 visit by the same Chinese group mentions work on a new model called the GA-21, which officials think is an adaptation of Iran's Shahed 107, usable for spying or attacking. But here's where it gets controversial. While China insists on its neutrality, these revelations paint a picture of deepening ties that could blur the lines between technical assistance and direct support for Russia's war efforts. Is this collaboration a harmless exchange of know-how, or a strategic maneuver that undermines international sanctions? And this is the part most people miss. What if China's dual-use controls are more porous than claimed, allowing technology to slip into conflict zones? Experts like Bendet warn of the ripple effects, but critics might argue it's just business in a global market. As we wrap this up, ponder these questions. Does China's involvement make them complicit in the Ukraine conflict? Or is it a necessary evil for technological progress? Should sanctions be tougher, or do they risk isolating nations further? Share your thoughts in the comments. Do you agree with China's denials, or see this as a red flag for global stability? Your opinions could spark a lively debate.